This week in NASCAR has been absolutely wild. The kind of week where fans wake up, check the latest headlines, and instantly wonder what is happening inside the sport right now. Because within only a few days, NASCAR fans saw three major stories completely shake up the garage area. A YouTube superstar is suddenly getting a huge opportunity with one of NASCAR's most legendary teams. A major Cup Series driver has been sidelined because of a serious health issue. And NASCAR has handed out a suspension that could seriously hurt a team heading into Phoenix Raceway. And honestly, when you step back and look at all three stories together, they say a lot about where NASCAR is right now. New personalities are entering the sport. Drivers are dealing with unbelievable pressure every week. And one small moment can completely change everything for a team overnight. So today, we're breaking down all three major NASCAR stories. And trust me, one of these names is already extremely famous on YouTube. Before we jump into everything, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report if you enjoy honest NASCAR conversations, breaking news, and emotional racing stories every week. We are building a real NASCAR community and chasing 10,000 subscribers. Now let's start with the first story, because this one honestly shocked a lot of racing fans. Mitchell, better known online as, is officially making his NASCAR debut with Richard Racing in 2026. Yes, that Richard Racing will compete at driving the number 33, sponsored by Tommy's Express Car Wash. For automotive YouTube fans, this is a huge moment. Built one of the biggest automotive channels on YouTube through drag racing, burnout cars, insane automotive projects, and wild racing content. Over the years, he created a massive, with millions of followers watching his content regularly. But this NASCAR opportunity didn't happen randomly. Earlier this year, made his NASCAR Truck Series debut at International Speedway, and surprisingly, he actually looked competitive early in the race while running inside the top 10. Unfortunately, the race quickly ended after he became involved in an early crash that destroyed his truck and ruined the debut. Still, NASCAR fans noticed him. And now Richard Racing is giving him an even bigger opportunity. According to, joining a legendary organization like RCR feels like a dream come true. He also explained how excited he is to learn from experienced people inside the organization while continuing to grow as a driver. But here's another important detail. This is not a full-time NASCAR contract. Confirmed that the agreement is currently part-time with plans for several races each year, while he continues developing his stock car racing experience. And honestly, one of the details is that Richard Racing reportedly contacted him first because they believed he had real potential in NASCAR. That says a lot. But honestly, one of the most emotional parts of this story has nothing to do with contracts or sponsorships. It involves Greg. Recently shared that one of the biggest things he wishes is that Greg could have seen this NASCAR moment happen. As many fans remember, the racing world was devastated after tragically passed away in a plane crash back in December 2025. Over time, and became very close friends through their shared love of racing and automotive culture. The two worked together on multiple racing projects, car builds, and events that introduced a huge new audience to NASCAR. When passed away, it deeply affected the racing community. Was even one of the speakers during his memorial service in Charlotte, showing just how important that friendship had become over the years. So for this Richard Racing opportunity clearly means more than just another race weekend. This feels personal. And honestly, it's going to be fascinating watching how NASCAR fans react once he officially hits the track at. Because whether fans love the idea of YouTube personalities entering NASCAR or completely hate it, one thing is undeniable. brings a massive audience with him. And in today's NASCAR world, that matters. Now let's move to the second story, because this one is much more serious for a major Cup Series team. Alex Bowman will officially miss the upcoming race weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Announced that Bowman has been diagnosed with vertigo and has not been medically cleared to compete. According to reports, the symptoms first started during last weekend's road course race at Circuit of the Americas. Bowman reportedly began feeling extremely sick during the race before eventually stepping out of the car. Afterward, the team spent several days evaluating his condition and testing whether he could safely return to competition. Doctors even had Bowman complete practice laps in a street car at a private road course to monitor how he felt behind the wheel. But after medical evaluations were completed, doctors ultimately decided it was too risky for him to race this weekend. That means the number 48 will now be driven by Alfredo. Alfredo already has experience across NASCAR's National Series and has also worked closely with through simulator testing, making him one of the safest replacement options available. Still, this situation is incredibly frustrating for Alex Bowman. Phoenix Raceway is basically his home track, and according to leadership, Bowman desperately wanted to compete this weekend. But the organization made it clear that his health comes first. And honestly, after the injuries Bowman has already dealt with during previous seasons, including serious concussion-related issues, the team simply cannot afford to take unnecessary risks. Right now, there's still no official timetable for when Bowman will return to the car. The good news for Alex Bowman is that plans to request a medical waiver from NASCAR. If approved, the waiver would allow Bowman to remain eligible for the 2026 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, despite missing the race at Phoenix. Still, missing a race this early in the season is far from ideal. Bowman has already struggled during the opening races of 2026, and losing valuable points now could make the road to the playoffs much harder later in the year. And honestly, this situation shows just how physically demanding NASCAR really is. Fans often focus only on crashes and race results, but drivers deal with intense physical pressure every single weekend. Sometimes health issues can appear suddenly and completely change a season overnight. Now let's move to the third story, because this one involves racing. And it comes after a very chaotic moment at Circuit of the Americas. NASCAR has officially suspended 2 members of pit crew following a dangerous incident during last weekend's race. The suspended crew members are rear tire changer and Jackman Josh. Both will miss the next 2 NASCAR Cup Series races. So what happened? During the race at COTA, the right rear wheel on car came loose shortly after leaving pit road under green flag conditions. According to NASCAR rules, if a wheel separates from the car after a pit stop, 2 pit crew members automatically receive a 2-race suspension. And unfortunately for racing, that's exactly what happened. Was also penalized during the race itself, losing multiple laps after the wheel issue completely destroyed their strategy and ruined the day for the number 1 team. Instead of fighting near the front, finished deep in the field after the penalty ended any realistic chance at a strong result. Now things become even more difficult because racing must head into the next 2 race weekends without 2 key pit crew members. And Phoenix Raceway is an important event early in the season. Every point matters. Every pit stop matters. And small mistakes can completely change the championship picture later in the year. When you step back and look at all 3 of these NASCAR stories together, it really highlights how unpredictable this sport can be. You have a YouTube star receiving a life-changing opportunity with one of NASCAR's biggest organizations. You have a driver sidelined because of unexpected health problems. and you have a championship-level team dealing with suspensions after one costly mistake on pit road. That's NASCAR. Everything can change incredibly fast. Sometimes the drama off the track becomes just as intense as the racing itself. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think can become a serious NASCAR driver with Richard Racing? How big of a setback is this for Alex Bowman and the number 48 team? And how much will the pit crew suspensions hurt over the next few races? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I always enjoy hearing what real NASCAR fans think about these situations. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for NASCAR Nation Report so you never miss breaking NASCAR news, race reactions, and emotional stories every week.